Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. I thought I'd put my face on camera. It's like 5 in the morning. My sleep pattern's all over the place at the moment, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem putting my face on camera. People know what I'm about. It's not really an issue. I wanted to talk about the giveaway. I just wanted to thank everyone in person really about taking part. I got a lot of messages from a lot of people saying, you're smashing it, you're doing so well. And I got messages from people who I was dealing with when I started, who kind of left the game a bit. And they were like, oh, wow, you're killing it. And like, well on you. And that was great. I was just like, yeah, it's so nice to hear from you. How you been? Some of them have been good. Some of them indifferent. Some of them sadly been through a rough patch due to COVID and other reasons. But it certainly was nice hearing from a lot of people. Like all the time people watch my videos, I'll put them out. But yeah, today's video I wanted to talk about cleaning my room. Ta-da! I actually fitted my room, but I didn't sort this part out due to just being so busy. Now, I wanted to talk about how the market is absolutely brutal at the moment. I wanted to talk about how you can kind of get around that if you're trying to sell. For those of you who watch my videos, I support having a diversified stack in terms of your semi-Numi, your Bullion, and your Numismatic pieces. But let's kind of get into the story of it. So you're going to find that in the good times, you're going to have a lot of people come into the market, and they're going to see advertisement, whether that be billboards or they're down the pub and people are talking about it. That's a good indicator for what not to buy, by the way. Or they're going to get push notifications via social media where it's targeted to them. And these people enter the market, and I've seen it so many times over the years. They're like, oh, this is great. They've got a new hobby. They love the fact that they can hold gold or silver in their hands. And it's the best thing since sliced bread. And what tends to happen is the market gets to a point where more and more people are talking about it. The prices get pushed up. Everyone wants to buy. And then they don't. So these people, they make a bit of money. They try their hand at trading. They don't necessarily understand the amount of knowledge or have the bank to trade properly, but they make a bit of money and they do okay. But they want to go down that path to see if they can make any more money, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with being aspirational and wanting better things for your life. Profit is not a bad word. But they get burnt, and then it goes in the opposite direction. I had a few customers when times were booming last year. And when I say booming, I mean they were booming. That is a story for another day. I'll probably share that story down the line. And they say, Sean, I bought these coins and they've done very well in a short amount of time. Do you have anything that I can trade? And I'm like, yes, I'm a dealer. I can sell. What do you want? But it does frustrate me because I know these types of people, they're not going to be around. They're not going to be around for the long term. They're going to come in, they're going to make a bit of money, they're then going to get burnt. They're the type of people that you're going to see in the pub, and then they're going to say that gold is the best thing since sliced bread, gold or silver. And then a few months, maybe 6-12 months down the road, awful investment. I don't know why I even bothered. I put all this money into it and I've lost money. And that's not what gold and silver is about. It's about maintaining wealth. It's about building over time in a diversified portfolio that should include stocks and shares, and it should include property if you can afford it. It's not meant to be the be all and end all. I'm kind of a special case because it's my job and it's tools in my trade. But even I'm diversified. Even I have stocks and shares. Even I want to get into property. But these people, they come and they go, and what happens is it leads you to situations like this. And it's not just the only reason we're in this place. January, February is one of the hardest times of the year, historically, not including last year. So people tend to overspend for Christmas. There's not a lot of money going around. So that means you got to sell really cheap, or you got to trade. Now, if you're selling and you're in desperate need of cash, this is kind of a problem, because whereas before, 6 months prior, a year prior, where everything's booming and everyone's making money, everyone's happy, and people will just pay the going rate, you're going to list something and people are going to look at it and say, well, actually, I want it for this. For someone like me, that's a bit of a nightmare, but I understand that it's a cycle, and for every bad month, there's going to be an exceptional month. And it's okay. It tends to tally at the end of the year. I just need to pay my bills. For most people, that's by the by. That doesn't really matter because they don't have, or they're not in my situation. So what I tend to find is when you're selling, you need to have that spread portfolio of coins. You need to have those things that just a bit special. And I'll give you an example. So yesterday there was a guy and he had an 1825 half sovereign. He said, what's this valued at? And some people are like, it's worth X, Y, Z. And I wasn't going to throw my hat in the ring because I'm not an expert in this era of sovereigns. They are specialists. They don't come around often. People do pay big money for them, but it's all dependent upon grade. And for me to kind of give a valuation when I wasn't 100% sure, it doesn't do anyone any justice. It hurts my reputation if I get it wrong, because if I overvalue it, people are like, well, hang on, it's not worth anywhere near that. And if I undervalue it, they're going to say, well, you've done me short there. So I stayed out of it. But what I was super happy about was another gentleman popped up, and believe it or not, he had another 1825 half sovereign in similar condition, and he auctions it. And everyone's like, yeah, like 1825 sovereign, bid. And that's kind of what happens in these rough markets. You got to have those really special bits that other people can't offer because they tend to hold their price. And that's great. That's going to give you an out if you need to raise money. Alternatively, you could just trade coins. So I've got a trade lined up. I'm not expecting this month to be great, but the trade I have lined up, I bought it for a very attractive price from another dealer. Personally, I think they got it wrong. And it was just in conversation. I said to one of my local customers, one of my usual customers, sorry. I said, I've got this coming in. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's a great coin. It's a 2017 P4 Sovereign. And he's like, I'll trade you for it. And I was like, of course. Why am I not trading stuff? I should be trading more stuff. So when I start listing things, I'm going to start trading out for, say, silver. I just have to make sure the numbers are right. Trading will give you an out. But what the really savvy buyer will do in a market like this, going back to the gentleman in the pub, when everyone in the pub is saying, gold's awful, it's bad, or you're seeing it, or you're not seeing it on your notifications, that's when you need to have your thinking cap on. You need to say, well, actually, it's cheap. No one wants it at the moment. Now, you don't know when that's going to change. But we're talking about building wealth. We're not talking about flipping for money. We're talking about building wealth over time. And if you're buying stuff when no one wants it, great, because there's going to be a point where they do want it. Now, this happens in the semi-Numi market, the semi-collectible market. So I spoke on a recent video and I said, this is underwater, this is making money, this is break even. A lot of the coins I have are a fairly sizable amount of coins I have. They're nowhere near making money. I know that, but they will. It's all about picking your moments. For example, Lunas, they used to be the rage. Everyone loved Lunas. At the moment, people don't want Lunas. It's okay. Buy them cheap. They will go back up in price. And you could say, yeah, but Sean, why? You can't say they will 100% go back up in price. And that's why you have a diversified portfolio. That is the sole reason. Because when you're in this market, you've got a baseline for price. With Bullion, it goes up and down depending on spot. With semi-Numi, you have a baseline. If you can't sell it, it just reverts just above Bullion. When you get it right, you're going to sell it up here. You're going to sell it for a fairly sizable amount. I've had a lot of coins where I've made 50 to 100% on them just by holding for a fair amount of time. Anyway, that's my strategy for navigating a bad market. I guess that's kind of simple for most people. For some people, it's not. I get some people say to me, I didn't know, I wouldn't have thought to do that. Not everyone is business minded. Not everyone is savvy in those regards. And that's okay. I hope this video has been useful, and I will see you on the next one.